A Captain Cook statue hacked down, protests planned for Australia Day, but many still looking to make the most of the long weekend. The last-minute rush for tickets, Powerball's mega $150 million draw. And Mitch Starc breaks the West Indies spirit on the first day of the Gabba Test as the Brisbane Heat return home as heroes.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Sharon Gadella and Max Futcher.
Good evening. Cyclone Kirrily is right now closing in on North Queensland. As we go to air, the Category 3 storm is around 50 kilometres off the coast, packing winds of up to 170 kilometres an hour. Thousands of people have been ordered to take shelter, with towns from Innisfail to Serena in the firing line. It's the strongest cyclone to threaten Townsville in more than 50 years. We have reporters in the major warning zones tonight. First to Anna McGraw. Anna, an emergency alert has been issued.
Yeah, well, Max, Tropical Cyclone Kirrily is certainly starting to race towards Townsville this evening. It's incredibly windy. The rain is setting in as well, and thousands of residents who live here have been told to take shelter now. Now, this system was upgraded late this afternoon to a Category 3. We're expecting it to cross the coast and make landfall here with Townsville in the direct firing line anytime after 9 o'clock this evening. But we're expecting incredibly destructive and damaging wind gusts anytime from 7 p.m. up to 165 kilometres per hour at their strongest. But the risk now that this system has been upgraded to a Category 3 is that renewed risk of storm surge. So it will certainly be an incredibly long night for the residents here in Townsville as they wait to see exactly what Kirrily brings as she makes landfall. Northern Australia's largest city waiting for Kirrily, the strongest cyclone to directly hit Townsville since Althea, Christmas Eve 1971.
Have you been through one before?
Cyclone Althea.
How was it?
Yeah, pretty scary.
Kirrily was headed towards the coast as a Category 2. By 3 p.m, it was upgraded to a weak Category 3.
We're prepared and ready for the worst. Now we wait and hope for the best.
The Premier isn't taking chances this time. The ADF is on standby along with 180 extra police officers.
We have preemptively declared this a disaster. We have preemptively requested assistance from the Australian Government and other states, including aerial assets and defence support.
The warning zone stretches from Innisfail to Serena and inland to Charters Towers. As of this morning, 50 people had self-evacuated and another 9 were in evacuation centres.
I'm not feeling safe because my house is not secure state. It's pretty much in bad condition.
The next few days will be critical, and I ask for the community's patience and assistance during this time.
Rain could pose the biggest threat. Up to 300 millimetres is expected in the impact zone.
The heaviest rainfall, so what we classify as intense rainfall that can lead to that life-threatening and very dangerous flash flooding, will be at the centre of that system.
Despite the risk in the hours ahead, there was a sense of calm across Townsville throughout the morning. This is what organised looked like at Bushland Beach.
Fully prepared, yeah. Didn't have to buy toilet paper or baked beans, bottled water. We're always prepared, so.
Most residents relaxed or calming the nerves, making the most of a last drink before pubs and businesses shut.
Packed everything up, so yeah, we're prepared, but yeah, still scared.
Our pub's all ready to go. I think everyone's just trying to relax.
Across town, some were still grabbing the last of their sandbags.
I would have got them yesterday, except Bunnings ran out of bags.
Those who missed out had to get resourceful.
Got all your sand?
I think so.
You ready for the cyclone?
Well, you have to be, don't you?
The last stores packing away their goods as locals fueled up.
Filling the car, like they say.
Gas bottles are going out the door like they're going out of fashion.
And finished stocking up. Magnetic Island residents have been warned to have at least 3 days of boiled drinking water on hand.
We were warned a couple of days ago, don't drink tap water anymore. Apparently something's gone wrong over in Townsville. Most people boil water anyway.
The Mayor urging residents to prepare while there's still power.
Plan to lose power for a minimum of 3 to 4 days.
This afternoon, Kirrily started to make herself known here in Townsville with incredibly strong wind gusts, but it's what this system will bring later tonight as it crosses the coast, which has authorities concerned most.
We will then send out another emergency alert advising people when it is safe to come outside to start to do any damage inspection.
The last flights departed Townsville before a midday shutdown. The eye is yet to cross, but the airport is already eyeing its reopening.
Hoping to get back in the morning, do an assessment on any damage if there is any, do a recovery session. Hopefully we'll be open back tomorrow by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hoping to be back flying 24 hours after a cyclone. Anna McGraw, 7 News.
Let's go to Sally Guyte now in Bowen. Sally, right now the southern side of the system is packing the strongest winds.
Yeah, it certainly is, Max, and we've really been feeling that all day. I'll just get my cameraman Nick to have a quick pan around of what we're looking at here in Bowen. These really strong gusts are coming through. They're blowing these trees. They're really bending. We've seen leaves going down. The sea behind me is very choppy. It's very murky. And those winds, they're really coming through in those strong whipping gusts. Now, we've sought shelter, as everyone in this region has been warned to do so. Here in Bowen, it's a relative ghost town, so it seems most people have heeded those warnings. And it's a good thing too, because here from Bowen all the way up and even further north, they're being warned that we will feel 155 km/h destructive wind gusts as this system nears. But it was the Whitsundays that felt Kirrily first.
Winds whipped the Whitsundays. Gusts up to 115 kilometres an hour buffeting Hamilton Island. Guests have been locked down, Kirrily crashing a honeymoon.
It's been pouring with rain and we got woken up by the wind. They've been tying everything down and taking in all the outdoor furniture. We're not allowed to leave the hotel.
At Airlie Beach, it blew tourists away.
First time in a cyclone, so to be honest, it's just like English weather, so just warmer.
While Oscar Weatherall was leaving, a Bucks party had just arrived. Dressed in a tutu and wearing a sash, Tony wasn't letting a cyclone rain on his parade.
Tony's going to do more damage than the cyclone, don't you guys worry about that.
Most shops closed except those selling ponchos.
And umbrellas, probably too windy for umbrellas.
Boats and scaffolding were secured, the tourist town deserted.
Bunker in and make sure I've got food and water and see what happens.
Tiny beachside towns between Mackay and Townsville are taking a hit.
I've lived here over 30 years. I've never seen Conway Beach like this before.
It's along these exposed coastal stretches like here in Conway Beach, storm surge will be most significant. These churning, murky waters are challenging the breakwall and pushing debris up onto the foreshore.
As this system approaches the coast, a storm tide is expected between Townsville and Mackay. So this may produce larger waves. We could see minor flooding along the foreshore, especially in low-lying areas.
I've been going through cyclones for many years, and not one's worried me yet, and not one will.
It's not just the cyclone that has authorities worried. Even after the system's downgraded, the threat remains.
Overall, in the next coming days, we are planning for very heavy rain and potential flash flooding right across our communities. Charters Towers right out to the west.
Kirrily crashing the long weekend and Tony's Bucks party. In Bowen, Sally Guyte, 7 News.
Well, let's go further south now to Caitlin Steadman, who's in Mackay. Caitlin, residents there have been left partly in the dark because of faulty weather monitoring equipment.
Max, the timing couldn't be any worse and there's no certainty it will be back up and running anytime soon. Mackay's weather radar was only just upgraded with a brand new one in December. This morning, an alert went up on the Bureau's website saying it was unavailable due to technical problems. Technicians are working on the outage and are hoping to get it back online as quickly as possible. In Mackay, the highest recorded wind gusts were 80 kilometres an hour and more than 120 in the Whitsundays. The Bureau is assuring residents there will be no changes to the accuracy of weather updates, with backup radars in Gladstone, Emerald and Bowen, keeping locals informed.
Caitlin Steadman reporting there from Mackay. Well, let's bring in Tony Auden now. Tony, Kirrily is fast approaching landfall as we speak.
Yes, Max, only a couple of hours and Kirrily should be moving over land. Now, earlier in the day, the circulation continued to contract in, consistent with developing into a Category 2 system, but we did get some concerning wind observation coming from Flinders Reef here, well out to sea. It picked up a sustained wind of 115 kilometres an hour with stronger gusts, and that is just under the threshold for a Category 3 cyclone, so the warning was upgraded. Now, at the moment, the system centre is less than 85 kilometres off the coast and moving west-southwest around 25 k's an hour. So if you do the maths, well, it should be making landfall in around 3 hours. In terms of impacts, those wind gusts peaking up to 170 k's an hour close to the system around landfall, then easing back below, damaging on the coast at least through the day tomorrow. In terms of rain, well, it should be heaviest near that system centre this evening. Now, forecast models do actually clear that heaviest rain inland with Kirrily into tomorrow morning, but we do need to be careful. We can still easily see bands of heavy rain continue to push onto these coastal areas here as humid northerlies push in behind the system. Things are still changing quickly. Max, I'll be back soon with the latest.
Thank you, Tony. Well, Sharon, the winds are certainly picking up here in Townsville now. A developing situation. I'll have the very latest from North Queensland soon.
We will check in with you very soon then. Thank you, Max. Now, in other news, Australians earning less than $150,000